Yep, I lied. I said my my earlier video would be my last video as a 46-year-old man, but I lied. This is gonna be the last video as a 46-year-old man. I just don't even know you guys. God, I'm so. I just. It's so weird because what ends up happening is I'm just going through Instagram, going through Facebook, and just seeing what comes through, and I'm seeing it just like I see this thing about part of it's weird because it's like I see this one of these truthers crying because the White House has had 3 separate Hanukkah celebrations this year, but not a single Christian. They're not. I guess it goes against the law for the White House to celebrate Jesus and mangers and all that shit. And yet, they have the celebration of Hanukkah, and I'm having such a hard time with this Christian thing. Like, you guys are so stupid. Why don't Christians somehow think Judaism and Christianity are separate? Like the Jews aren't scared of Jesus. And Christians are just so dumb. It's fucking unreal. Right, Karen. Happy Hanukkah indeed. It's crazy. Like, like Jesus, they don't even. Jesus was a Jew, and the whole book is Jewish. It's just one big Jewish fairy tale. I don't. My bad. I didn't notice. It's more and more control scheme bullshit. Don't you guys notice that? I am so tired of truth coming through, the half truth coming through. I don't understand. I mean, I guess I should be happy that we're at least halfway there, but I feel it's really dangerous. I feel like, it's like, I quit heroin by smoking crack. I quit doing heroin by becoming an alcoholic. The further you go down the rabbit hole, the more the tea is silent. Yeah, it's the rabbi hole indeed. But it's just so stupid. And think about it. Like, think about how, even at first, when you first came here, you might have liked what I did, but you probably thought I was a little extreme. And I took things a little too far, and I was trying to blame one group when I shouldn't be, and all this other shit. But then, you might have tried to debunk me, or you might have just tried looking and validating what I'm saying. And you're not going to find a lie. You're not going to find anything in my history that, like, is even exaggeration. If anything, I'm underreporting. You know, I'm not talking about enough. But it's like, it's so, I don't know. Our new song has a bunch more views than I would have thought it would have by now. It's probably just a clever title, but that's probably why we did it. Sorry, I just had to throw that out there real quick. I just don't get it, man. Like, I'm really frustrated. I'm really bothered. You know, I'm driving around to my family's house tonight, and just this weird sense of depression is sort of everywhere, and it's even outside. Like, it didn't feel like Christmas Eve out there tonight. You didn't see all the families getting together, and oh, it just feels weird. I think we're one step forward, two steps back. Divisionary tactics still as prevalent as ever, if not more so. For sure, yeah, that's the thing. That's it. You nailed it. It is that two steps, one step forward, two step back. And that's what you're seeing. Like, it's the Jesus narrative is gaining steam here somehow.
Well, yeah, because Trump made that big announcement that, you know, yes, say Merry Christmas.
Yeah, but you missed it. No, so this guy was talking about how the White House has had 3 separate Hanukkah celebrations, but but having Jesus, having the manger scene, having him, it's illegal. And you have these Christians just crying and crying about it. And it's like the more the Jews sort of stoke that fire, the more
it's a separation of church and state, not a separation of synagogue and
well,
state.
because they make it into a race, it makes it okay. Because it's a celebration of racial identity.
Are they celebrating Kwanzaa at the White House?
Queen Candace and the legs aren't HG. Oh, I don't know. I mean, Candace is a great example of it. It's such a weird thing because where do you stop? How do you stop your thinking? How do you go, I'm going to look into this, holy shit, this is all Jewish control, blah, 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 all this other shit. And then you get to, like, Christianity, and you just go, what, I'm going to stop? I'm not going to keep going in this conversation, this particular conversation. You know, I don't want to know the truth about this part. I like the truth and I like talking about things, but I just don't like this part of the conversation. So
Guys, give the puppy some love.
I'm gonna believe what I want to believe. Like, it's just weird. And I just, you know, I don't know. I just feel so weird. I got Karen and Mary are both here. Both of them are eccentric females, you know, a little strange, but compared to like the normal, that's a good thing. They both really dig what TBG does. So are we just going to say that they're both these crazy broads who just happened upon my nothing feed and it, you know, happened to be that we play that they happen to think is amazing? Like, what kind of like, this is just such bullshit, coincidental bullshit that it's like, it's just not possible. Aren't helping push religion along with the valid question we also asked. They're polluting our truth quest continually by doing so. Exactly. Like, it's just so, like, I think it's so weird. You see these people that are saying these intelligent things, and then right after, it's like, you know, they just switch into, and then Jesus and the God and the Jesus and the Bible, and you just go, wait, you were just sounding smart for a minute. What happened? Mm-hmm. And in all this time, do you think it's just a little strange that in all of this time, there hasn't been a single pastor, preacher, father, clergy of any sort of kind that have come in here and been like, listen, I heard about this feed. You were always, you know, you're asking for some sort of religious scholar to come here and talk. I'm here to talk to you and help you see the light of Jesus. Don't you think it's strange that that's never fucking happened? I might not be the biggest guy in the world, but I've been doing this long enough that my name is out there. I think Candace Owens seems like such an example of that. She's no different than any of them. Candace is just the only thing that's different about Candace is that they let a black female get to the position that she's in. That's just strange. They don't normally do that. That's like an Oprah privilege that she's been given. But just the weird way she says Israel. Why does she say Israel? It just that in itself makes me just like, what are you doing? What's the purpose? But you tell me the last like major person you've heard talk about bottom of darkness. You're telling me I'm the only one that knows about that shit. I saw Stu Peters. Stu Peters is one of these guys who like really does walk that line of like, man, he sure does say some crazy shit. If I said it, I'd get in trouble kind of shit. He's very informed and all that. But he still is such a Jesus freak. And I just don't even get it. Like, it's a complete and utter fantasy. It's just so strange. It's like we're architects and we're building this whole building and we design everything, nuts and bolts, every single nut and bolt, blah blah blah, and then we're done and we go, okay, let's pray and make sure all this stays together. Don't you want to like maybe we just go over it and double check it? No, we don't need to double check it. Let's just pray about it. You'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I just said that same exact thing about Stu Peters. Yeah, Stu Peters is an interesting example, man. But then so is Dan Blazerian. They're basically all the same character anymore. They're saying these things and they're aggressively saying these things, and again, they're saying things that if I said it, I'd get in trouble. And yet, they always seem to like bookend it with some Jesus bullshit. And of course, I would never be able to get any of these guys to talk to me. Never. They would never ever have a discussion with me. And it's just so strange. And like, I would love it to be like a friendly discussion. Like, shit, you guys, listen, we're in the same boat about so many things. We're in a completely different place when it comes to this. And maybe you guys actually know something I don't know. But you've never ever seen a single one of these truthers go, I'm so sick of people talking bad about Christianity. Here, let me break it down for you and tell you exactly why Jesus is real. As a matter of fact, the only one I've ever seen even attempt to do it was Anomaly. And I accidentally stumbled across that shit one day. Algo had tagged me in a different video that he made, and Algo tagged it saying, "Looks like Anomaly's been watching your videos." As Anomaly was finally talking about the same 60-minute interview that I'd been talking about for years when it came to COVID. And he was talking about the 76 swine flu bullshit. And without even watching his video, I just looked and he had like 500,000 views on his video. And I was like, I wonder what it is. Why is he allowed to say the same stuff I'm saying and yet still he's allowed to have such a huge view? And so I clicked on the name to go to the page, and all I could see was like his name and his following, and his following was like 2 million. What's she doing? he had like 2 million following. And that 2 million following, I remember looking at it going, I bet you, and I saw his picture and I thought, he looks like he's trying to pull off the Jesus look. And I also noticed it said he was a Fox News correspondent. And I'm thinking, like, why is this fucking truther Fox News correspondent allowed to have 2 million following? I bet you he's a Jesus pusher. That was my thought process. And so I scrolled down a little bit, and for some reason, it had most watched video on this page was the pinned video. And that video was why I believe in God. And it was like this 3-minute long video about how, he was an atheist at one point. He used to love to pick shit with religious people and say stuff to them. And yeah, he knows the whole, our argument of like what created God and blah, but that's, neither here nor there, because basically you can't, the reason he believes in God is because of the chicken and the egg situation. You can't have, you can't have something that came from nothing. Like, you just literally addressed that God had to come from nothing, right? And then he said some shit like, look at sunsets. Sunsets are so beautiful, God has to make them. Something along those lines. And he's like, yeah, I used to be an atheist like you guys, or like whatever. And it's like, okay, if you used to be anything like me, it would take something extremely, extremely significant for you to not be like me anymore. And you're saying that what changed your mind was the chicken and the egg? And I just thought, yeah, Fox News correspondent, living a great life, getting paid big money to pretend to be a truther. Alex Jones, you guys see the video with Alex Jones talking about how Israel is so historical, he wants to go there, but he doesn't want to deal with all the negative naysayers that would say Alex Jones is going to get his orders from Israel. He says, I'd love to touch the Wailing Wall. Why would he want to touch the Wailing Wall? Why would anybody who's not a Jew want to touch the Wailing Wall? Now, I've shown you the clip before, and you can find it really easily on any YouTube page. Just type in Alex Jones, I am Jewish, and you'll see him say it. You'll see him say, he's interviewing somebody, a call-in, who's clearly Jewish, and he says, Mr. Jones, the Jews are responsible for all the wars and the blah, blah, blah. And Alex, of course, in Alex Jones fashion, doesn't let anybody make a point. He interrupts him and says, wait a minute, wait. Do you think that the Jews should be gotten rid of? And the guy says, yes, because and as soon as and Alex says, I'm just going to stop you there. I'm going to stop you there. I am Jewish. Then the clip cuts. Like, it's been one of these things for me where I've just said over and over again, if Alex Jones is really telling the truth, if Alex Jones is really telling secrets that nobody wants to know and blah, blah, he's really that big, that fucking awesome, why haven't they killed him? It's just that simple. He'd have a random heart attack. He'd, be in a strange car accident where his car stalled over some train tracks and he couldn't get out. Alex Jones is a racist. There was a video a couple of years ago where he went down to Texas, and he's on like he's like on the opposite end of the Occupy people or whatever it was. I can't remember exactly what the protest was, but he's literally standing there and he like keeps bumping into this black guy, And the black guy's like, dude, get off me, and pushes him off, and he's like, wah, wah, and it turns into this thing. I'd take a bona fide road to Damascus kind of dealing at the very least to convert me. It'd take it would take a very, very significant something. It would take me, like I always say, I could easily pull off the scheme. I could easily pull off the fraud and say, I woke up in the middle of the night and there was a burning Jesus at the foot of my bed telling me I had done something wrong and that I needed to change my life and yada, yada, yada. And that's literally what it would take. And even then I would question what the fuck I just experienced, because there's nothing logical about the Bible. And the reality is, like, it's clearly a Jewish control scheme. And so I don't know how I could ever not see it. Like, how do you not see it? How do you not look at what the Bible literally says? And, I mean, if you read Genesis tells you that it's Jew after Jew after Jew who either begets other Jews or is somehow like, it's interesting how it's like, these are the first people, but there's still a lot of other people that they interact with and stuff. But these are the first people. And the vast majority of it is one of these Jews builds a God phone that nobody else seems to be able to build. They call up God. God comes down and he's like, hey, he always identifies himself as something else. Sometimes he's the Almighty. Sometimes he is, I am he who says I am. Sometimes he is the guy who throws rocks and they go around the world and come back. Like, he just says goofy shit each time. And then he's like, okay, well, I'm going to, your name is now this, and everything that you can see from here to there belongs to you. And that's literally it. And then those people like go into town and they're like, hey, I just built the God phone and I know none of you saw it, but I had a conversation with God and he said, all this is mine now and I get to collect taxes and I'm this. And everybody was like, yeah, okay, that sounds good. And, it always feels like I know more than the people that will go door to door getting doors slammed in their face over and over again. You would think they'd be more than willing to talk to somebody that's like, hell yeah, let's talk about this. But they don't want to. Especially when I bring up, like, that you use Sodom and Gomorrah to justify your hatred of gays, right? Do you know what Sodom and Gomorrah actually says? Because they sure don't seem to. I am so, between the bottom of darkness stuff and this weird surge in Christianity, I'm finding myself kind of stuck. Like, I don't see the point in talking about other things. These things are the most important things right now. We must worship you now. That's basically what they say over and over again. Not even we must worship you, you must worship me. And everybody just goes along with it. It's just dumb. Like, it's so weird. I try to think of something to compare it to, but like, I mean, it's such a dumb fantasy. And the thing is, again, if you were to say to the average Christian, your thing is as valid as Islam, they're gonna be like, what? How dare you? Oh my God. Jesus is way more real than Islam is, and I don't know. I drove through my grandma's old neighborhood tonight, and everybody in there is religious in some sort, and let's see, you just see that, like, you see these huge houses and all these people, these really successful people. You're burning your fucking finger, moron. You're about to. Angela, seriously, that's disgusting. Chant for all those fully booked for the rapture bus. All aboard, I'm selling tickets. I mean, I'm willing to give you my, whatever spot I have, or any sort of you guys want to buy my soul or anything like that. Like, I'm all for it. We'll sell anything we got. Any soul, any of that. Here, just trade me. I'll give you whatever spot I get in heaven, you can have that if you let me have your money now. It's just such unbelievable stupidity. And yet you go, well, how do you justify that? Look at you. You're a loser. You live in Redford. You don't have any money, and you're this and you're that. Why would I listen to you over the person who's immensely successful? And it's the truth. Which is funny too, because like, if I was successful, then what I'm saying would have more weight to it. But simply because my belief structure prevents me prevents believers from giving me the same opportunities that they give non-believers, or that they give their other believer friends. Like that, it's just such a weird thing. There's literally no, like, I'm sorry, but I look at the music we make, and I don't think there is a viable explanation for why our shit isn't bigger other than censorship. And I mean, you're literally looking at a feed right now that has 25,000 subscribers and 4 viewers. Where does that make sense? That's what Kanye has just said to Pierce. Why would I listen? Why would I listen? I've got much more money than you. Right, that's such a weird thing, but it's like when people say, I got money in my pocket, dog. What's up? I got money in my pocket. Yeah, how'd you get that money? What'd you do to get that money? That doesn't mean anything. That just means you're willing to do what it takes to get the money. But Kanye, I mean, do you know, like at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, I'm just a fringe nothing. I literally told you guys within a couple of days of the Kanye says this, and Kanye, blah, blah, blah. I wrote the song and then got it out there as quickly as I could, as Charles would make it. But I told you from the beginning, Kanye is doing his job. I almost fell for Kanye in the great Semitism deception, but it's all a clever con, and they are teaching us a lesson. And not only did I not fall for it, I broke it down step by step. What each piece means, how each piece is supposed to affect both you and I. And since then, I've been proven, like Kanye could have proven me absolutely right or wrong. He could have dropped Hail Hitler, and he could have been the me. He could have been the guy that was out there talking like I am. And instead, he's now dropped Hail Hitler, but changed it into a song called Hallelujah, and even come out and said, I'm done. I'm not going to say anything bad about Jewish people anymore. He apologized to the family of the Jews he offended. That's just crazy to me. My response to anything like that is like, okay, unless I'm telling the truth, and even then, what? How could I offend you? Who am I to offend you? If what you believe in is the truth, then it wouldn't matter what I have to say. Yet for some reason you're offended by what? Me telling the truth about your shit? Because I don't remember anybody telling me I'm wrong. I still haven't had anybody debunk anything I've had to say. But they all do it. How many people other than me was telling you when Nick Fuentes gets the opportunity to fucking, spill the beans, he's not going to. Nick Fuentes is just some piece of shit troll doing what he's told to do. He's a $7,000 a month Israeli fucking shill. And when he had the opportunity to prove that that's not who he is, he failed. He failed. He said, oh, I blame Tyler Robinson instead of, hell yeah, I blame Israel. But what you've seen from the beginning of this again is, first of all, I told you day one, video one, what the fuck was underneath his shirt. Something was under his shirt. I talked about it over and over again. I even made it part of the song. I wrote it. In the video, I drew on my shirt so I could point to black spot. The black spot that moves from here to his neck. But I told you from the beginning, not only did Israel do it, Israel made Charlie Kirk to begin with. The one part of it that nobody is fucking talking about. And yet, for some reason, actually, what's happening is Erica Kirk is showing her true colors, her Israel colors, her loyalties and all that. And somehow Charlie's narrative is that he was pulling away from Israel. He refused $150 million loan payoff from Netanyahu. He was pulling away from Israel. He was pulling away from Israel. And the one thing I keep asking everybody, and nobody wants to address it, if he was pulling away from Israel, why didn't Israel notice? Is that the as soon as somebody does something that Israel doesn't like, Israel notices and then makes a big deal out of it. Instead, you have Netanyahu, bragging about what great friends they were and talking about letters. And then you have the Charlie Kirk angel video that Israel, not only did Israel put it out like 2 days after he was dead, but it's been covered up. Nobody talks about it. It's even hard to find it. It was a thing. Like it was an actual. These people put this shit out. This tasteless, disgusting propaganda video. And because that's how it was received, it just disappeared. And the only people that were talking about it were fringes, and those videos are gone. Good luck finding it. Don't you think it's strange? We have 4 viewers, 3 likes, 5 viewers. If you're watching, take 2 seconds to share this, man. Subscribe, like, do all those things to help the algorithm like it fucking matters. You've never seen somebody have the meteoric rise that I had. Well, you have. What can I say? I can't say that. Because, in March 2023, Ian Carroll just sort of appears. And within a month or so, he's on the Joe Rogan show. So, open-minded. What's happening, Chief? It's butt crack in the morning for you, isn't it? Even doing this, like, I feel so compelled to do this anymore. For what? I don't even know why. What does it do? I'm censored to bejesus. I talk to the 5 people that are here until the trolls show up, and that gets a little weird, but still. I'm so goddamn censored. This clearly does nothing, but I feel like it's important. It's clearly so important that they censor me. That they send the trolls that weird, that shit that doesn't happen, that all of you watching have never seen anywhere else. Only happens on my feed. And to me, that is the validation. That is that's the push. Keep going, dude. Keep going. Obviously, you're doing something. Maybe you're not realizing it. Maybe you're planting seeds and you don't realize you're planting the seeds. But it's fucking working. Something is working. Something you're doing is catching the attention of those that pull the strings. I just don't understand why you pay me off. Just pay me off. Just give me $10 million and I'll walk the fuck away. You guys will never hear from me again. Actually, I don't even know if I could do that. How do I give up my music? How do I give up my art, my love? How do I do that? I don't think I could. Walk away, never make another song again, never promote your songs again. Don't be proud of the thing that you've created. How do I not be proud of that? I'm so proud of my song. Like can't imagine. We're driving home today from the family's house and we put it on the rap station. And my wife swears up and down the biggest issue is because Charles doesn't make music that moves your butt. And I can get where she's coming from in that, but not everything is about going to the club and dancing. There's music that you listen to when you're not at the club, when you're not trying to dance. You don't listen to rock music, you don't listen to Pink Floyd when you're trying to, dance and shit. Nobody puts on Pink Floyd like, yeah, fuck yeah, this is my shit. You listen to Pink Floyd when you're just doing life. Pink Floyd is a good life soundtrack, and that's what I think TBG is. Broken sleep in my 30s. I mean, everybody that I know that's like me in this regard, we all have that same issue. We all have a hard time sleeping. We all are, obviously we're extremely bothered by the bullshit we're shown. I don't, what else is it? What else is keeping us like this? I'm so scared of where things are going. Trump paid himself $1 billion. And then it's like, well, I'm giving it to charities, so Like, just what world are we living in? What world are we living in? Anthony Joshua makes $90 million for the Jake Paul fight. But by the time he's done with government taking its part of the money, he walks with like $40 million. Less than half of the money that he made being the guy that did put his life on the line. Granted, it wasn't a big risk for him, but still, anytime you step into that boxing ring, it's a risk. Jake Paul can crack. And yet, I mean, what are we talking about here? What world are we living in where this guy makes $90 million and more than half of it is taken by the U.S. government for what? What did they do to earn that money? What is going on in this fucking reality we live in? The guy was that apparently they thought it was made for good TV. So like within a day or two, there'd be a full episode. They don't ever do this. I don't ever remember them doing this with that show. If it's full episode, at least partial episode to entice you to watch something else. You never partial and then full episode right afterward. Kind of weird. Right? Stream stopped working. Yeah, no shit. So this time they do. It's weird too because like the last few videos that they've released, it's been like some Mexican guy. But this time they have this old man. And this old man was like 70 something and he's there to a 13-year-old and you know he is you can tell like as far as I hate saying that it's entrapment because it's not, but when I think of Chris Hansen and the entire police department putting in their resources and all that, the one thing I notice is that they never catch like ringleaders. They never catch anybody who is associated with any sort of network and all that. It's always some dumbass. And so what they showed you a lot of in this one episode is more of the interaction between the decoy and the man. And this 72-year-old man, nobody likes him. He is a old scuzzy ass. When he says it's his first time, I believe him. And it's so strange because I think what attracted this guy more than anything was just somebody being nice to him. Just somebody pretending to be attracted to him. So whether it was a 13-year-old or a 28-year-old, he wouldn't have cared. It was just somebody returning his advances because he literally was this old weird guy and you know, and like he said, he said, I've never gone after a 14, I've never slept with a 14-year-old before. I haven't been with anybody since my wife died all these years back, and I didn't sleep with anybody else before that. And he's like bearing his soul to this woman who's pretending to be the decoy. But what you see, you notice this over and over again, especially with Chris Hansen. At one point, the old man says, I am this many years older than you. I'm old enough to be your grandfather, blah, blah, blah. At that point, why do you need any more evidence? Right? Like, just get him to come over and go from there. But instead, the decoy talks like no 14-year-old girl I've ever heard talk before. And what I think when I'm watching this is if you're dealing with any sort of professional, if you're dealing with anybody that actually poses danger to the community, not anybody, but if you're dealing with like there's a lot of and most of those guys that get caught are fucking dangerous, no doubt. But like I say, none of them are leaders because they don't the way they talk. Anybody who's like even slightly skeptical or careful would never fall for it. Well, I'm 14 and all, so I just want to know what you plan on doing to me when you get here. Can you give me details and speak into the phone so I can make sure everything comes through very clearly and if anybody does want to listen, they know exactly what you meant? Like there's no way some like big time trafficker is going to fall for that bullshit. And I thought about watching Chris Hansen in this last video that it seemed like they were much more hell bent on getting this great story, which is the creepy 72-year-old trying to, and the way he talks to her, and he's like, I'll slip it in, and it's gonna, he's really awful. He's a really, really awful human being, no doubt. But they got way more than enough evidence long before he showed up. And for the just, I just think like if it was if it was anybody that was actually running something, like if I was any bit skeptical of if I was one of those guys and I'm any bit skeptical even a little bit about the scenario, and you start talking to me the way that the decoy talks, I'm immediately going to know it's bullshit. Oh, hey, you said you wanted to buy a 8 ball of cocaine? Did you want to buy the 8 ball of cocaine? Okay, well, I will be bringing the 8 ball of cocaine to exactly this corner at this exact time. So you be there at this exact time in this corner, and I will have the 8 ball of cocaine for you. Like, you wouldn't trust anybody that said that shit. You'd be like, why the fuck do you keep saying that, dude? I'm good. I'm gonna go with somebody else, thank you. And I just think it's like, it doesn't seem like Chris Hansen and them are trying to catch the networks. They're trying to get, good videos. I don't know. At 5:03 approximately. Not sure what that is. I just want to be. I just want to be wrong. Right? Allow me to be wrong. Allow me to be heard and be wrong. And let the world tell me what I'm wrong about. There's more than enough people that I know would dig what we do. So let's see what happens. It's almost like we need that piece. We need me to be that straw that breaks the camel's back one way or another. One way or another, the narrative needs to straighten out. We need to be clear. That's what they're doing. And again, I don't want to take anything away from it. I don't care who you are. Like if I've said this time and time again, if your whole thing is that you only target black guys who talk to little boys, so you're a racist and a homophobe, and you're a bigot, against gays. If you're using that to target children or to target hunters or pedophiles, I mean, I'm all for it. You have my support. It doesn't matter what you do if you're going after pedophile hunter or if you're going after pedophiles, but it's the Chris Hansen who has the resources and he has the upper hand that most predators don't. EDP Watch is a great example of I've seen numerous times where the cops show up and give him a hard time. And it's just so strange. It's but that's what I mean, like we need more of we just need more. We need more of the fight. I'm so fucking done with this. I'm so full of hatred for this bullshit system. I'm sick of living in a system where I can't say the truth. I mean, dude, seriously, do you know how many videos exist of Israelis in large groups chanting death to Arabs? Do you know why the Palestinian schools are out? Because there's no kids left. And like I'm just so sick of this fake narrative of these God's chosen people bullshit. I'm so tired of it all. I'm so tired of your fake Jesus bullshit that you know it's fake. That's why you can't even talk about it. If you thought that your Jesus narrative was the correct one, you would be just as quick to talk about it with somebody who doesn't believe or questions things as you are with, the guy at the store when they're like, "Have a good day." And you're like, "Have a blessed day." Oliver, my head is up. Thank you. But I need help, guys. I need your help. The download. Go get the download. If it's because you think you did our shit, we'll give it a second chance. If you've given it a second chance and you don't like it, then you don't like it, and that's okay. No, Jesus, keep looking out for the small shit makes you happy. I'm sorry, I'm not selfish like that. I'm not low level selfish. What makes me happy? I mean, dude, there's a genocide happening right now. And what makes you think if they can do the genocide to them, they can't do that shit to you? I'm sorry. Well, I know that there are children being purposefully starved to death. And I even hate saying children because, so what? Just because it's a 20-year-old, it's a 25-year-old, it's a 30-year-old, it's what like that their life is less valuable? No. There are people being starved to death, which is painful and damaging and even if you end up getting food, the process of starving to death is bad for your body. And it's one thing to properly fast, but to be forced into it and to be, the water you're drinking is puddle water. And I mean, it's just this is damaging on not only physical levels but psychological levels. I want to know, all these Stu Peterson, Nick Fuentes, Ian Carroll, Dan Blazarian, Alex Jones, all of these fucking Christians out there, all of you motherfucking piece of shit Christians out there who literally think they can communicate with God and get God to change its mind. God was gonna, have this happen this way, and then you prayed and were like, hey, God, can you make this happen? And God was like, all right, I'll change my mind. All of you motherfuckers out there who believe in such ridiculous nonsense, why aren't you praying that God appears like it always does, man? There's always people claiming they see God, this and that and the other. Some African guy says he has a dream about an apocalypse, and this shit becomes worldwide. TikTok apocalypse. People are literally selling their belongings because of some random African guy's dream. You understand how stupid that is? You believe it to the point where you fall for that kind of shit. Why aren't you praying with every little ounce of energy you have, all the prayer juice you have built up, all the rosary beads and holy waters and ritual bullshit, this, that, and the other? Why don't you pray that God shows up, tells Netanyahu he's doing shit wrong, and stop this genocide? Such arrogant nonsense. It really is. Especially when it comes down to the why. At the end of the day, you're taught to believe that Christianity is like the absence of arrogance, the absence of the ego and submissive, this, that, and the other. But the reality is, it's arrogance on levels that most things don't exist on. You have to be an incredibly arrogant piece of shit to be a Christian. Who said I was here to pray? We talked about Ellen Keller the other day. It rhymes, so it's true, I guess. I don't think anybody said you were here to pray. This is what we've been talking about. and I think you missed what was being said. It's a challenge to the Christians out there. You believe the shit, right? I mean, I always thought it was funny during COVID when you would have the 700 Club doing their little touch, commanding God to fix people's problems. But at no point were they like, well, we're gonna stop asking God to fix knees and elbows and cure cancers and shit. We're just gonna ask God in all generalities to get rid of COVID. They never did that. Gee, I wonder why. Well, this is this is an utter fucking farce that we're falling for, or you're falling for.
Shit, we should have kept one of those boxes in
And
here.
can you stop talking to me, please? I know, I get it, but because I listen to what you're saying, it stops me. You understand? Oh man, 2026. I've semi convinced my wife. I think maybe a tiny bit. I'm working on convincing my bandmate. 2026, can we just try things my way? Not 100% my way by any means. I'm not ridiculous like that. But a lot of the stuff that we've been doing it not my way. And it's been a source of contention. We've been fighting, and it's just stupid shit. It's really weird shit that we fight about. Like, if you guys could actually see what my wife and I fight about, compared to the problems of most people, or maybe it is the same problems most people have. Because if it is, it's generally like a power struggle kind of bullshit. Instead of it just being like two people trying to work together to solve the problems, there's other shit that gets in the way. Mommy daddy issues and who knows, all kinds of shit. So I'm begging that, can we just try it for 2026? And if it doesn't work out, like, we'll know 6 months in, but I'm still asking, can we give it the full 2026? Because it's literally, it might seem like a long time, but it's just one of the years. You've had a lot of years, especially in my wife's case. Jesus, you've had a lot of years before this one year that, your way could have worked out. Pull your glasses down. So I'm begging, can we just do it my way for 2026? And if it doesn't work, we'll go back to it. 2027, we can go right back to doing everything the way we were doing it before. We'll put the toothpaste back into the tube and just get right back to it. Again, if I'm wrong, I think we'll know within 6-8 months, maybe sooner. But I just wanted to try doing it my way. And if anybody can tell me how my way isn't a good thing to do, and we should do it, make an adjustment, do this, do that, then yeah, okay, cool. Part of my way is being able to adjust when presented with something better. Not going to just adjust because some arrogant piece of shit says, yeah, hey, it's my opinion. But if you can say, hey, this is my opinion, this is why I think this way, and I don't have anything else to say in response, well, then your way's the way that works. If I have something to say in response and you can't respond, well, then I'm going to still keep going this way. Or maybe we can, make some sort of hybrid of the two. But instead of being driven by faith, let's use 2026 to be driven by curiosity, by logic. And if we look at things and we can't make sense, then it's not something we should continue with, right? And easy if the ego is left. I love my ego. I think everybody should have a very strong ego. My wife, laughs at that statement. But my wife has an extremely strong ego. She might not admit it. She might pretend to be otherwise. But like the last few days have been just absolutely hectic with the Christmas planning and everything going on. And if a week ago I would have said, hey, sweetheart, why don't you just chill out? I'll handle all the holiday stuff. I'll wrap the gifts. I'll make all the food. I'll handle all the plans, all that. What do you think she'd say? You think she'd be like, oh, wow, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I always feel like everything's put on me and I hate it. I hate that everybody puts everything on me. Thank you so much for offering to do that. I'm going to take you up on that. Fuck no. She doesn't want anybody else to do it. As much as she might complain about it, she doesn't want anybody else to do it because, and again, this is the main reason, because she knows she's the best person for the job. She's just neurotic enough and OCD enough while also being in control of it that all of it works out. You know? She's so OCD about wrapping presents that they literally look so perfect, and every single person that opens them is like, "What the fuck? Why do you wrap these so tight, god damn it?" But she doesn't sit there and like, oh, I gotta get everything like. It's like the OCD doesn't make her be crazy. It makes it so it works out really, really well, really nicely, really beautifully. You have to work to get that present. That free fucking present. And so when it comes to the ego, I believe we should all absolutely embrace our egos. My wife has a very high ego when it comes to this thing, based in reality. She is the best person for the job, so she has a strong ego in that regard. Now, if my wife was like, fuck yeah, let's go out back, I'll beat you in basketball, it would be a fucking joke. Like, what are you, fucking stupid? You wouldn't score a goddamn point. Like, not even nothing. She'd get hurt playing against me. More than likely, because at one point she'd go to shoot thinking she had a shot, and I'd slap the ball down in her face. Not being mean, do you take offense to that? Like, do you think I'm downplaying you by suggesting that if you and I were to play basketball, you'd get hurt? Like, you wouldn't score a point, you'd end up hurt.
Oh, yeah.
Right. It's not ego for her to think she could beat me in basketball. That would be foolish arrogance. Ego, the good ego is her knowing that she's the best person, she's the most organized, she's gonna make the best food, she's gonna make the presents look the best, she's gonna do the best job. That's something to be proud of, that she does a great job. She does a better job than any of us could. That's pride. That's the type of ego that you should have. The other side, the arrogant bullshit for her to, I can beat you in basketball, that would be foolish. That would be stupid. Right? Nobody should do that. And I'm not insulting her. I'm not being mean to her. I'm not downplaying her value. I don't think anything I can do, she can do better. Sorry. The benefits of being a man, I guess. That's why you get to get off multiple times during sex. That's why you get the benefits that you do get. You get to have babies. You get to have babies. I don't care what you say. You don't have to have babies. This is where I'm gonna be a dumb girl is about to start happening. What? It's gonna happen. Nobody says you have to have babies.
Nature does.
No, you get to. You can choose not to have babies. You have a choice there. You're just gonna keep being a dumb girl.
Awful.
No, it's not. You
babies is awful.
To somebody in your shoes, yes, there are people like you who hate every aspect and blah blah blah. We get it. I get it. There are plenty of women out there who love it, who absolutely love feeling something grow inside them and the connection and even childbirth. It might be painful, but they appreciate it and love it. I'm so jealous of it. It looks painful and all that, but to be able to have that connection, to grow the baby is such an amazing thing that you guys get to do. Like, there's nothing that even comes close to that. No amount of I can beat you in basketball or I can lift up something heavier than you can. Does that make up for the fact that you create life? Like, that's the most beautiful thing of life is to create life. And, again, like that kind of shit, I'm so tired of that. I'm so done with that. Leave that in 2025. It's so stupid. I'm chip on my shoulder. I'm gonna chip on my shoulder. I'm gonna be chip on my shoulder. Like fucking A. Just let it go.
It's not a chip.
It is.
But you sit there sidelines having no idea what you're talking about. Talk about how beautiful it is. It's
I have no idea what I'm talking about. Yeah. I'm sure when you wait till you're really old to do it, and yes, it changes your body, but you're one of these insecure women who's like, I don't look like I looked when I was 18. Well, yeah, you're not going to. Wouldn't matter if you had a baby or not. As you get older, you're not going to look like you did when you were 18.
The
And
coffin pee, it turns your nipples brown. Just all of it.
it doesn't always do that, though. Like you're like insisting on the worst case scenarios. And because again, there's this chip on your shoulder, you're acting like that's the only perspective it could possibly be. There's no other perspective. That's the only thing that can happen. It's negative stuff. It's only negative. Blah, blah, blah. You don't know what they're talking about. Come on the side, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Okay.
All I said is.
That's not all you said was.
No, you don't have to go through any of the hell.
I heard you already. I don't get to go through it. To you and the chip on your shoulder, I guarantee there are women that are hearing this and cannot believe you're saying what you're saying. You got a chip on your shoulder and you're negative. Okay, we get it. I don't know what image you think you're painting of yourself, but it's not great. Like it's not me doing it, it's you doing it. But like again, no one forces you, no one makes you do it. You choose to. And you have this choice that we don't have. And I think again, my point being that balances out the fact that you are not equal to us physically. I'm so tired of the argument and this game that has to be played to placate your insecurity bullshit. Oh yeah, I bet you could give me a game. No. It's it's a weird joke. It's this weird thing that's like everywhere. And it has the opposite effect of what it's supposed to have. Instead of it pushing for equality, it's creating the opposite. You trying to force us into something. Force only leads to shame. And if you're forcing something, you're forcing people to say something that they don't believe to fit some bullshit narrative. That's what we do in so many aspects of our life. Why do women need to be told that they're on par with men in a physical capacity to feel good about yourself? You're not. So, when it comes to the whole period thing, periods are fucking gross. I not only do and I'm sitting on the sidelines, so I don't know what I'm talking about. Not only do I know from firsthand experience, having dealt with multiple women throughout my life, that literally every single one of you is noticeably different during that time of the month. I don't blame you 100 at all. I can't imagine what it would be like if my body was all swollen, I tasted metal, I was bleeding out of my fucking shit to the point where I had to put these absorbent, either stick something inside of me to hold all that shit in, or put a pad down there that every time I sit down, it's like, gush. Gush gets all cold and shit. Ugh. Cold and cloudy, and then you gotta like clean it all out of your pubis and all this. Come on, that's fucking ugh, that is horrible. Especially your heavy flow abortion periods. Yeah, you don't like talking about it, but it's what happens. Hey, thanks, Mary Lou. Or it says Mary Boo. I keep wanting to say Mary Lou. We aren't men physically. That's just a fact. Yeah, but I think it goes further than that, and I don't think you guys want to address that shit. You know, personally, I think women should get like period leave, at least a couple of days. The last thing I ever want to deal with is some cop on our period. And the fucked up part is like, again, like, listen, if we're not in a philosophical conversation about the, you know, the equality aspects of life and that and all this other bullshit, and you just look at it from the standpoint of if I said to you, I'm gonna present you with a scenario. You get pulled over. It's by a dude who's been on the force for fucking 10 years. It's a routine traffic stop, this, that, and the other. Or it's a female who is on her period. Do you think anybody's going to be like, give me the broad on her period, please? No. Why? Because we all know that broads on their periods are different, are irritable, are fucking less logical, are less responsive. We're talking about someone who is then entrusted with you know, the ability to take someone's life. Chip on your shoulder, like you have to have a chip on your shoulder in the first place to be a female who decides to be a cop, especially if you're a good-looking broad and you decide to be a cop. You have every other option in the world. You don't have to be a cop. For you to be a cop means you have some sort of chip on your shoulder. And now I got to deal with you, you know, on your period. How do I know I don't look like that guy that was an asshole to you in high school? I don't happen to have the same name. I don't sound like him. I don't, you know. Fuck that. And when we're talking about, you know, make me into, like, I'm super bad guy, right? I'm 2-strike felon. I'm jacked. I got so many grams of man found out it could land me in jail for life. But I'm still big pimpin', Spanish G, Bum Pete, Timsy, and Bum Beat, Pimpsy, and Timothy.
I mean, the same could be said for the little dick cops, only they don't have that 3 weeks of being nice. They're just always dicks because they have little penises.
Yeah, but they're still not compromised. They're not compromised.
They are compromised.
They're not.
5'3".
They're not, because whatever the issues that they have would then be compounded if they had blood coming out of their shit. Like, see, again, this is where you're just not being realistic. Because realistically, your periods are awful.
It does not change your ability to reason and logic.
And it affects you. And it does. And every single chick, every single female I've ever been with has had to excuse some sort of behavior. Been like, I'm sorry about that. I was on my period. I was a little.
I never not done my job well because of it.
Okay. It's something that isn't ever tested. And you're not in charge of people's lives. You're not, first of all, show me the video of a single female handling a situation where a man doesn't want to be arrested, does something. And she's by herself and she ends up handling it all by herself. She wrestles the guy to the ground. Show me that video. Show me the video where the single female cop runs down the guy who runs away from her. I'll wait.
Well, before we take this to the grand jury, I just want to so you were present at the location on the evening of May 1st, is that correct? Says you witnessed the shooting.
No, I heard a gunshot and I look around the corner. I saw a guy get on the sidewalk.
I saw a man about 6 feet tall wearing jeans and a hoodie shoot the guy and then run towards the subway. That's the statement you gave to the officer at the scene.
I never said that.
I would feel insecure about anyone wishes to announce their penis is bleeding on the internet rather than seeking an honor. A period is like pain. People deal with it in different ways. Exactly. Exactly. You can't tell me that every single
And you
female.
can't say every single female will act the same way, though, either.
I'm not saying that every single female will act the same way. I'm saying the idea that some will, and it won't be held accountable. There won't be any sort of accountability for it. That people's lives are drastically changed. Like, especially in the situation of a judge. You know, if I am in a custody case and I have a female judge and that judge is on her period, the last thing I want to be doing is having some sort of man versus woman argument where she's in charge. I'm sorry, I've experienced it way too much, man. I've seen it from my wife, from our female neighbors. Whenever they get together, it's always girl power, and it's always, you know, like always, like it's such a weird thing. There's very like female against the male attitude.
The other way for so long.
Yep.
And
It's
we
blah
were
blah. So that
repressed
means you have to
for
be the
so
worst.
fucking long. No,
Yeah.
but like you say with everything else, the pendulum goes.
It doesn't
the
have
other
to.
way before
You
it
don't have to.
settles.
You don't have to be dumb bitches who you know, take things out of proportion and you know, make it so it's uncomfortable and, you know, suddenly can't take a joke or, you know, can't have somebody tell somebody that, you know, you got something wrong, you got a direction wrong or wherever it may be. Like that kind of shit, that doesn't, you know, and especially in a situation like mine where it's like, if you're making me pay for what other dudes did, fuck you. Fuck you. See, this is where it's just so difficult because, again, instead of looking at this realistically, you know, the last thing you ever want to deal with is a female cop on her period or a judge on her period. You just don't want to. I don't want to deal with a female cop who hasn't had a chance to change her hasn't had a chance to change her fucking pad in 3 hours. She's been busy, so she literally stood up to come get my license, was like, got my license, sat back down and was like, "Gush." We are talking about something awful. We are talking about something that is biologically changes your hormone levels. To pretend like that doesn't affect who you are as a person is just arrogantly stupid. It's stupid. Your hormone levels are off. If suddenly my hormone levels are off, do you think I'm going to be like, "Oh no, I'm fine"? Yeah, I suddenly got flooded with a whole bunch of estrogen. Yeah, so what? I'm just crying at the drop of the hat. You know, what do you mean I'm acting differently? It's a stupid way of thought to try to prevent yourself from being, you know, held accountable. You don't want the truth of it. And the truth is, like, I would love to do a study of a female judge and say, okay, judge, when were you on your cycle? Did you have a consistent cycle where you were one of those, majority women who can set their clocks, their calendars to their periods? And if she says yes, then I'd say, all right, let's go back. Let's check. Let's see the verdicts of your cases over the last 5-10 years and see if they're the same throughout each month, or if during that week you're different. The thing is, if females knew that I was wrong and that if females can do their jobs just fine, blah blah blah, then you would be absolutely down to do that test. You would be absolutely down to prove me wrong. Fuck yeah, let's find a female judge. Let's do that. We'll show you, but it's gonna show that she was different. I'm never done calling out birds who blame their. My friend Felon is gonna end up going DEFCON 4. I don't know what you're talking about. It's always weird too when you talk about shit like this, how females always like can't separate themselves from the majority. Well, I've never done this or I've never done that. First of all, bullshit. But secondly, maybe you are different, but are you trying to say that you don't know what I'm talking about? And how do you know? Like, there is no vetting process, right? So we don't know that the judge isn't one of those chicks who is one of those raging bitches. Right? There's no accountability had. We don't know that, like, to say that every single female cop isn't one of those chicks that has extreme periods and is a bitch on her period and an that's arrogantly foolish. And to say that even it's a small majority of them, it's probably a large majority of them, a large portion of them are absolute fucking bitches on their periods. If you have 100 cops, you're gonna have 50 chicks that are gonna be bitches on their periods. It's just it's a fucking fact. What are we talking about? Are we stupid here? Are we adults? Or are we sitting here trying to placate to girly feelings? Let's be realistic here. So that the 50 that aren't raging bitches on their period, so they can be cops and not do as good a job as men anyway. We should then allow those other 50 to be out there fucking terrorizing people? No. You don't get to do that. You don't get to say, well, I belong to NAMBLA, but, I don't do any of the child stuff. I just supply money and I go to their events and I vote for them and I do all that stuff. But, I'm not a bad guy or anything. No. I'm so against this idea that the few actual real good chicks out there that are, one, not a super bitch on their period, but two, also physically capable of doing the job so that they can have a cop job. They could do all kinds of other jobs. No one's saying they have to be cops, but because they want to be cops, I then have to deal with all the other shitty female cops out there to accommodate that 1 or 2% of the females that actually can do it. Go fuck yourself. That's such insane bullshit. That doesn't make any sense. Female cops put us all in danger. Because even that little there are plenty of dudes that should not be cops, no doubt. But that little fucking guy, that guy's been fighting his whole life. He's probably steroid out.
Wants to be a cop, has been fighting her whole.
She has not been fighting her whole life. What are you talking about? You're just ridiculous.
Guarantee you she has.
She has not been getting in fights with dudes her whole life.
Sit with dudes.
That's what the point is. Just because you get in little scraps or tiffs with girls who can hit each other 100 times and both walk away, no problem, that's nothing. You put us all in danger. If I'm a bad guy, a 2-strike felon, and I am pulled over with some shit in my car that will send me away for the 3rd strike, and it's either go in the back of the cop car and just give it up easy, or, blast this female and then run away, I'm going to blast the female and run the fuck away. I am way more likely to do that when it's a female than I am any size man. Yes, I'm more likely to do it with a smaller man than I am a bigger man, but I'm 1,000% more likely to do it when it's a female, any size female. The bigger the female, the less likely she is to be able to run. And once that guy crosses that line that he hurts a cop to try to get away, his mentality is different. What he will do to continue going, like, you're nothing, you're just a piece. So he will run into your house. He will take your family hostage. He's already hurt a cop and done this, and he's already looking at going to prison forever, and he's doing what he can to escape. Once it crosses that line, once the female cop can't do her job, that makes everyone in the area's lives exponentially more dangerous. Because you never know, you don't know where that guy's going, what that guy's going to do. Show me the video of a female cop besting a man. I just haven't seen it yet. I've seen so many videos of a guy, breaks free and goes running away from females, and they literally stop running and just call it in. Because within seconds, that guy is far as fuck, and their fat asses are like, I can't. My kid has the other phone. It's like a male judge being drunk 1 week a month. Not quite, but yeah, he's compromised. So he's not drunk. He's had 3 shots. He's on a steady diet of 3 shots. He's capable of being reasonable and logical and all that, but he's compromised. And you wouldn't want it. And it's just weird because, again, it instead of it being like, how do we look at what's best for this scenario and move forward? Somehow it steps on your girl power toes and you're like, no, females should be cops too. Like, no, they should not. What's the benefit of having female fucking patrol officers? Like, female detectives, sure.
Well, they can't be a detective without being a patrol officer. That's how that works.
If that's how the rules are, but the rules can change. If you're going to say females can't be patrol officers, then, we can just move them. We can change the other laws too.
Well, then that you have to open it up for men to be able to just.
Sure. Why wouldn't that be bad?
Because they have to go through the ranks.
Okay. Well, then maybe we shouldn't have female cops. I don't see the benefit of female cops. I'm sorry. I just don't get it. What is
the... Women don't get treated fairly by male cops.
Huh?
So a lot of times...
Women get treated fairly all the time by male cops. All the time. The videos are all over the internet where you have these these insane hood rat, fucking disrespectful broads, or even hot chicks. Like there's a few videos of hot chicks where they're like trying to, seduce the officers and all, and the officers are nothing but professional. If there is an officer body cam where they step out of line, that shit goes viral pretty quick nowadays. But there are endless videos of cops being extremely professional with completely irrational, drunk, ridiculous chicks, and they, if anything, like I've seen, again, endless videos of women behaving in a way that if a man was behaving that way, so all you women that want equality, that goes both ways, right? So you want to be treated like a man would be treated whenever they act like these women do. Because I've seen women, yelling in cops' faces, pushing them, doing all kinds of shit, and not getting slammed to the ground and beat the shit out of.
Fucking just ignorant. That's just ignorant.
What is?
The girls doing that.
Sure. So should they get slammed to the ground and beat the shit out of like a man would? No, nobody wants that, right?
I don't think anybody should get that.
Right, but they do. But they do.
Wrong.
And there, well, in some cases, I mean, sometimes there are some extremely belligerent men who cross every line with officers who are doing a very, very good job and trying to maintain a reasonable cool with them, and they just push it too far. This shit happens. It's well documented. You're arguing with somebody when you never watch cop videos, and I watch them all the time.
Definitely my share of cop videos.
Oh, Jesus Christ! You just can't admit anything. You
I
can't.
have watched
You
them.
can't sit here and
You
I
keep
know
saying
I
you've
do.
watched them.
I have watched. I did not say you've never watched videos. See how you
did.
you see how, no, I said you're somebody who doesn't watch cop videos, and you don't. That's not something you watch very often. I watch them all the time, but again, instead of saying, yes, in this regard, the man might have a superior position over me because they're more into it and more knowledgeable than I am, you just can't say it. No, I've watched my share of comments. No, you haven't. You have no. It's not even close. It's
I'm
like
not
me.
comparing.
It's
you
I.
to me.
I was just comparing me to you. I was comparing me to you, and then you spoke in and said, "No, it's about the same."
didn't say it's
I
about
watch
the
my share.
same.
I watch my share. You didn't say anything along the lines of, you know what, you're right. You have watched a lot more than I am. You probably are more knowledgeable on this than I am. That would be like me saying, well, you know what, I know just about it. I know about oils too. I know about
would say
oils
yes,
too.
But I would never make the statement that you don't know about oils to begin with.
I didn't say you don't know about oils or cops to begin with. And I would be more than comfortable saying you know a lot more about them than I do because you're way more into it than I am. There's nothing negative about who you are, who I am, anything like that. But for me to say I know way more about this particular thing than you do, and for you to not be able to acknowledge it, is exactly what I'm talking about. I don't have a problem acknowledging where you know more than I do about stuff. Not an issue at all.
I say it all the time.
Again, you had the opportunity and you didn't take it.
I wasn't done.
Oh,
talking.
you weren't done talking. So you were gonna say, I watch those kind of videos all the time, but yeah, you're right. You do watch a lot more than I do, and that's what you were gonna say.
That wasn't even the point of you saying that.
Yes, it was.
No, the point of you bringing it up was talking about slaying the guys on the ground.
No, the point of me,
the
the point
force.
was what the point of me saying that was that I know a lot more about this than you do, because I watch a lot more. I've seen a lot more videos with females, female cops, female people in the back, the suspects. You watch a lot more of this fantasy bullshit on TV, but you don't watch real life, and you just don't know. I guess it's because the camera's on or whatever, but you just will not say, yeah, you actually do know more about this than I do. It's not a surprise. It's just what it is. right? This is the 2025 attitude I want to leave behind. Because in this scenario, I am right. I'm 100% right. You know, it's okay if I'm right about something. It's okay if I know more about something. It doesn't make you any less of a person or stupid or anything like that. It's just I know more about this than you do. And any good team, this is where the ego comes in. Ego versus arrogance. Arrogance is going, well, I've seen my share, and then ego is being like, yeah, no, you know more about this than I do. And I would never pretend to know more about certain things than you do. Again, oils, rocks, sky stuff. I wouldn't even begin to imply it. If you suggested that you know more than I do about it, I would never say something like, "Well, I know my fair share about it." I would say,
That's not what I said.
"Yes, you did." I would say, "Absolutely, you do. You know a lot more about it than I do." Here, if somebody has any questions about oils, talk to my wife. She knows a lot more than I do. Wouldn't even think twice about it. Wouldn't care. Don't feel any less about myself. Nothing. Not embarrassed. Nothing. And the point was, I know more about this than you do because I watch more than you do, blah, blah, blah. And the response was, I watch my fair share of stuff.
That wasn't the response, and that was.
Yes, it was. It absolutely was. And we can go back and look when we're done if you're confident. You won't want to, but I will. If you want to talk about this subject, you need to host a call-in show. I refuse to type a book. Yeah, but I refuse to deal with the bullshit that would come my way. What's up, bub?
Can we continue playing? Because you're on your video and all that.
Go ahead.
I just want to make sure because I shut mine off.
When? Like just now?
No, a couple minutes ago.
Oh, okay, because you were supposed to have it off an hour and a half ago.
Can we keep playing though?
No, actually, it's midnight, dude. I'm gonna be done in a minute, so no.
When you're done.
Just watch TV. You don't need to look at the little screens anymore. You've already had an. You're supposed to.
I want to use my avatar.
Cool. You can all day tomorrow, and you will. Thank you, Bubba. In fact, by the time a female is bleeding, her hormones are regulated as a week prior to the bleeding. The hormones are elevated. In fact, the only thing that they need to deal with is pain, discomfort, and lethargic feelings. So that's not all. That's not like you're not at your peak performance when you're in pain and you're lethargic and you're uncomfortable and all that. This is just such a weird argument. Because you know what I know? I know for a fact that, again, every single female I've ever been with or lived with, whether it's my mom or what, you all want leeway. When it's your period, none of you say, oh, just treat me like normally. Act like nothing's different. Not one of you say that shit.
You don't expect that comfort at work. But when you're at home around your loved ones, you should be able to get that kind of.
Nobody's saying you shouldn't. See,
but
you're arguing.
there's a difference
You're
between the
arguing.
person you
You're
live
arguing
with
both
and when you
sides.
go do your job.
You're arguing
No,
both
I'm not.
sides.
Listen to what I'm
No, I hear
saying.
what you're saying, and
Okay, so-
you're arguing something different.
I'm
You're
not.
saying that at home you can be compromised, and
It's not
you
being
would be compromised.
It's getting some relief, some comfort.
It's not this. It's this. It's the same thing.
It's not the same thing.
It is because, like, this is what's so nuts. You are fucking compromised. Why are you arguing that you're not compromised? You're in pain. You're swollen. You're bleeding from your crotch. Your hormones are off. You know, this is a week long. You've been doing this for at least a week. This is an awful experience. This is not something any man is jealous of. Even the trans guys are like, nope, you keep that one. And that's the point. When you want it, that's empathy because, you know, There should be understanding. There should be compassion because it's a horrible experience. I completely agree with you. There should be compassion and all of that stuff.
Not punishment.
I shouldn't be punished because you're already not as good at your job as a man is. But you're not. You laugh, but female cops are not as good as men are. Just because you see these bullshit, Kenzie's badass. Kenzie beats up dudes all the time. Yeah, Kenzie's a fucking fantasy. She's not, it's just not how it works. And this is like, I don't give a shit about your feelings. Let's talk about logical. Logical, you can't even, as a female, you can't even look at this logically and reasonably, and you're not on your period. I'm supposed to have my life in your hands. You're supposed to be allowed to shoot me whether you think I had this or you think I did that, or I can show you endless videos of female cops acting like crazy bitches on their periods. Where they're flipping out on some guy. There's a pretty famous video of, I think it's in Florida. This guy is at the pool and the fat lesbian cop shows up. He's the guy that called the cops about some other guy with a gun. But she walks up all, get down on the ground. He's like, what are you talking about? I called, get on the ground. Get on the ground. He's like, I'm not sitting on the ground. It's fucking, what are you coming at me? And it's this whole thing. And her fellow officers are interviewed afterwards, and they're like, man, she was on a rampage that day. I don't know what was going on. What do you think it was? What do you think it was? But nobody's going to say it because we don't want, I don't want to be, I got to be PC. I got to be PC. I don't want to be like, hey, this bitch. The guy said it. The guy that was being bullied, this crazy bitch, he was like, is she on her period or something? But that's not even something that's allowed to be brought up. And maybe if that was the case, if maybe we could hold you accountable. And when female cops, when they're acting unreasonable, and we can say, well, were you on your period at that time? And if you were, then you're held accountable. Like there has to be some sort of accountability. We can't just keep pretending like it's nothing, and that every chick that's a cop, every chick that's a judge, every chick that's in some sort of position of power like that, they all just handle their periods perfectly. None of them are crazy bitches, and nobody is compromised or has to deal with something that they shouldn't because of this fucking chip on the shoulder. I can add all buddies now, but poor behavior. But I never cried. Oh, PMS. It's bugs apart. It's not true. It's not true that it's fake. Some chicks. I mean, if you can say honestly that you've never been experienced that, well, then you're an anomaly. I know my wife will act like I've never been that way. There's nothing wrong with me. Yeah, let me tell you. I can tell you from firsthand experience, it was a significant difference. There was a significant difference. And then when you know about like my wife's situation, well, how do you know how many other cops, females out there aren't dealing with what you dealt with?
They're not going to be cops.
Who says?
Because there's too much pain and shit involved.
Okay, well, so what if they're a cop before that happens, and then that starts happening?
No, endometriosis happens when you're young. You know you have.
You did not have the same problems when we met as you did by the time.
Look out, significantly.
That's my fucking point! Jesus Christ!
But you know early on, and you're already in too much pain to deal with it. God
That's not
damn.
true. If you
It
become a
is
cop
true.
at 18, 19 years old, 20 years old,
I got
you had
diagnosed at
you
19
had no
'cause I
I,
was
you had no idea at 19
Yes,
what
I did.
you had no idea that you would deal with what you dealt with.
Yes, I did.
Bullshit.
They
Come
told me
on.
we would get sick. That's why I ended up being put on the menopause, the fake menopause.
Sure, whatever.
Jesus Christ. Yes.
So you're saying, like, this is the arrogance kicking
It's
in.
not
You're saying
arrogance.
at 18,
Arrogance acting
19,
like you
20
know.
years old, they accurately described what you would experience in your 30s. And you can look back and be like, yep, they told me. And I was like, yeah, I knew it was going to be exactly like that. No, you
Can you
did
let
not.
me respond? At 18, I was having such severe pain. I was spending that week in bed. And
Oh my God.
Stop! That's what led me to all the specialists. Okay?
So what?
So I was already in that much pain. So what they told me at that time is it would get progressively worse.
So you're
The
saying
pain, the
every
cysts,
single female
all
in the
of it.
world that deals with what you dealt with would be like, oh, that wanted to be a cop their whole life, that had gone into it and all that, they would go, well, shit, Angela felt like
can't
this,
take a
so
week off
I
of work every month.
right. And guess what? There are lots of chicks out there that think they can do shit they can't do. I don't need to take a week off work. They don't know that that's what they would have to do. And to
If
say
you're in
that
that amount of pain,
you
have to.
don't know that. You don't. And you're arrogant. In your late
Not
teens,
being arrogant.
in your late teens, early 20s, you think you can handle shit. You get told all kinds of things by older people, and you go, well, yeah, that's you, but I'm different. I know my body. I can blah, 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 blah. That's what every fucking teenager does. You were not special. And if you were so special that you had this way of looking into the future, then that doesn't represent every other female. There are so many other females out there who deal with all sorts of issues, all sorts of junk, all sorts of craziness while being fucking cops. And again, are we just pretending like what's the benefit? In order to accommodate all of this negativity, what's the benefit part? That you can have a female officer show up to search because every woman thinks that every man wants to touch them. Doesn't matter how fucking ugly they are or how happy or secure or whatever the man might be. He wants to touch her and feel her up. Because you all think that way. It's hilarious.
Maybe it's from experience.
Yes.
You are
Right.
not like that. That's why I married
There
you.
are
Most
endless.
men
See,
are.
this is where your ignorance comes in because you don't watch the videos. There are endless videos out there showing men who do their jobs, take pride in their jobs, and are not going to throw away their entire lifetime pensions and all that because they want to feel some random chick's boob. Get the fuck out of here.
I
There
had
are.
it happen. He
Yep.
threw away his job.
Yep. There. So that means every other man wants to do that.
You don't know who does and who doesn't.
So that means
And
every
why
other
put
man
yourself
wants
in
to do
danger?
that. So that
Potentially,
so,
it could be any of them. Yes. 100%.
right, just like it could be any female out there that oh my God. So because men could be the bad guy, we have to take all these extra precautions. But because females could be, well, that's okay. Everybody should just deal with it because some aren't. That is the most double-sided, crazy bullshit female logic in the world. And it's all
we've been
because you
stuck
don't
in
want to
man's
acknowledge.
world for so long.
Huh?
We've been so repressed.
Oh, yes, you're so repressed. Yep, that's what it
We're
is.
the last to be allowed to vote. Black men can
It
vote
has
before we
nothing to do with whether or not you're better at being a cop or not. You are just insane here.
You're acting like I'm saying women should be patrol officers.
Okay,
No,
my
but
argument is that they shouldn't. You are taking it in all these other directions.
you can't flat out say they shouldn't.
Yes, I can. I can say that because some fucking
Because you get periods, you shouldn't. That's just fucked up. And
because of the lack of accountability, because of the insane likelihood and risk of it, that just because there are a few chicks out there, or even say 50%, 60, 70% of the chicks out there are not affected by their periods and can do their job well, that does not mean I should have to deal with the other 30% and the rest of society should either. That's bullshit.
just because there's 20% of male cops out there that will touch a woman inappropriately doesn't mean I should have to deal with them.
What are you
I mean,
talking about?
there's that double standard there.
No, we're talking about
I
whether
should be able to have a female cop search
we're
me.
talking about whether or not that a whole, let's say the female cop is across town. So now this cop has to stop what they're doing
Yep.
and wait because you are some weird ass insecure woman. That is insane to just say men can't do their job because of your insecurities.
No, you
That's
cannot
crazy.
touch my fucking body. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely 100%.
Why not? They're professionals.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
No, they just get
And
trained to shoot people. They're
And
not
they have body
professionals.
cameras on, and they
Some of them.
can be held accountable.
Some of them.
Well, then then
And
you
stuff
insist.
happens to body
Then
cam footage
insist.
all the time.
Then insist that the body cam footage that you're searched by somebody with a body cam. But to
Oops, something
pretend
happened to the
pretend like
footage.
somehow you are above the law, and the law can't treat you equally because you're a female, is some insanity that just doesn't. You don't like that. You don't like when it doesn't work against you. You only like that it works for you. Well, I'm different. I get to be treated differently. Do you know how insane that is? Especially, again, to just assume that how do you know that cop doesn't have a 10 at home and he's not disgusted by you?
Don't care.
Yeah, well, you don't. You're so much more concerned about your own female shit than you are equality. It's not about equality for you. You know, I don't ever hear anybody ever complaining that a female searches a male. Why can't a female search? Why is that okay?
I don't think so. I think males should be searched by a male.
Why shouldn't we just get over our shit and not assume? It's like all the guys out there like, I don't want to be in a bathroom with some gay guy gonna look at me and checking out my junk.
Even if the
Nobody's
dudes were
looking at
gay,
you.
I still don't want him touching me.
Nobody's looking at you. Right, because you have a whole bunch of issues. So the world should accommodate your
2 out of
issues.
3 women are assaulted.
You should
It's not just
you
me,
and
sweetheart.
your issues should be treated special. You're special.
60% of women have been assaulted.
But you're special then. Because of the situations that
Men
that
have created. Yep.
men have created, right? You never have any responsibility in any of it. It's interesting how women do that.
How?
You do. You have a responsibility in things.
Yeah, I went to a sleep study. All kinds of responsibility.
Yeah,
there.
that's
Come on, man.
that's the only thing that's ever happened. No, women have a responsibility. You can't go to parties and get fucking hammered. You can't do that. You know, you can't put yourself in such as a man, I can't go walking down the street in the middle of the hood with money hanging out of my pocket and be like, man, nobody should rob me. So since nobody should rob me, I'm just gonna go do. And then when I get fucking robbed, be like, oh man, I got robbed. Yeah, it sucks that we live in a society that we live in, but you need to be smart about things. As a girl, you need to be way more careful than you should be.
So we're not allowed to go party and enjoy ourselves.
Yep, that's exactly what I
You
just
said
said.
that. Don't go to a party
Yes,
and get drunk.
yeah, that's what I just said.
You did.
I just said you should not go to the party and get drunk. Yep, yep,
You just said that.
yeah, that's what I just said. I said females should not get drunk. I wasn't, I didn't say you shouldn't get wasted. You shouldn't get blackout drunk. Nope, you shouldn't drink at all. You shouldn't be able to have any fun. That's what I'm saying. So what you're saying is females shouldn't even leave the house, right? That's what you're saying. Yep, that's what I'm saying. When I'm saying you should be more responsible, that's me saying you shouldn't do anything. Just like when I say that it's your vagina, you're responsible for it. How dare you trap a man? How dare you go to the bar and have a one-night stand with a man when you could possibly get pregnant? You know when you can get pregnant. And you're out there sleeping with some dude? What's wrong with you? It's your vagina. You have all the responsibility for it. It's not my vagina. And if I try to tell you what you can or can't do with your vagina, guess what? You're not going to be okay with it. But somehow I'm responsible for whether or not it gets pregnant or not. You know how insane that is? You know, you as a female, again, don't go putting on a pull-up a dress that's pushing up all your shit and tiny little dress and then go walking through the hood all stumbly drunk. Guess what? We live in a society where that's going to make you a victim. You cannot sit there and go, oh, well, I shouldn't have been victimized. You're right, you shouldn't have been. But you definitely should have made wiser decisions. You need to be responsible. I don't think anybody should get fucking blackout drunk. You know? But if I'm a female and I know what's out there, I know what guys are capable of, I'm not going to put myself in that position. You know, it's just the roll of the dice. And at the same time, the shit that you bitch about the most, guess what? Every single one of you has used your titties to get you a drink. You've flirted to get you a drink. Hey, how you doing? You've had meals paid for you. That same negative that works against you, you've all used it to your advantage. It's that's how things work. There's good and bad. I don't ever hear, that side of things. Nobody's ever saying women don't ever go out and not pay for it. No, you guys judge men on that. The man invites you on a date and then suggests that you pay for your half. Well, he ain't no good. You know, there's a reality here. It's like the whole population problem thing, right? White people never want to talk about their contribution to overpopulation. But the reality is, poor white people are having so many unwanted babies. That shit needs to stop. If you want to talk about the population problem, then we need to talk about poor white people having way too many unwanted babies. It's not Bill Gates' fault.
Well, I think where that needs to start are cases like Jess.
Yeah, well, it doesn't need to start there, but that needs to definitely be addressed.
We need to start there.
Well, but that comes back to the religious bullshit. You have to eliminate the religious context in order to, like this notion that any female that doesn't want a baby should have a baby anyway. No. If you don't want to have a kid, don't have a kid. If you get pregnant, yeah, that sucks, but don't have a kid. Having a kid is very hard. It takes everything you have. And it's just crazy. Honestly, I never even thought about that. You're right. I would never thought about it like that. You're right. I'm 100% pro-choice as well. But what's crazy is another one of these 100% pro-choice things, but at the end of the day, as the man, I have no say over the abortion. If you decide to get an abortion, there's literally nothing I can do about it. I could want that baby all day and night. If you don't want to do it, you won't. You know, everything I'm talking about, you can get mad at the things I'm saying, but what am I wrong about? Tell me what I'm wrong about. This world's fucked up, man. I wish we lived in a place where people that would do something to a female while she's passed out or would take advantage of a female in any sort of situation. I wish we lived in a world where we would just kill those people. That would be a much better scenario, but we don't. And until we get to that place, well, you guys have to be better. You have to be careful. The baby isn't her body, though. The baby is its own sovereign being that doesn't even have a choice. So, if the one thing about being a parent that's more than anything is that you want the best for your child. If you're not capable of providing the best for your child and you're going to create another unwanted fucking baby who more than likely works at the gas station and blah blah blah, what is the purpose of that? You're ruining two lives. You're ruining your life and the baby's life. And then when we're talking about like, you know, rape and shit, who are you to say that some woman that got raped should have to keep that fucking baby? What are you, crazy? Do you know how awful that baby's life is going to be? That woman is going to, as that kid gets older, especially if it's a boy, as he becomes a man, he's going to look more and more like the rapist, and she's going to see that person every time. Every time he comes in the room and wakes her up, she's going to see that face and, ah, ah. You again? Why do you think that you know? I think paternity tests should be given as just a given. You know, child's born, a paternity test is taken just to make sure the man is the father. I think that's something that needs to happen. I think if you're going to force somebody to pay child support, they need to take a paternity test before that happens. But I just, again, I know how difficult life is. I know how difficult raising children is. And to do it without having a want to do it, nobody should do that. That's just a waste of life. Hey, Brian. I like being a woman. I pay my way. I can safely say, use my boob. Use my boob. You drink it, believe me. With booze my size, I've been offered a lot of drinks. And for you to say you've never had a drink bought for you is just a lie. You know, the thing is, if especially if you're an attractive woman, or you were when you were younger or whatever, you don't know what real life is. Your concept of what the world is different. People were nice to you when they wouldn't have been if you weren't a female with boobs or whatever. You've gotten your way based off of what you are way more than you want to admit or care to admit. And that's so strange. It's like rich kids who pretend like their parents aren't a big reason why they're successful as adults. Right? You know? There's nothing wrong with it. See, this is the problem is you're acting like there's some sort of stigma attached. I don't think there's anything wrong with using your boobs to get a drink. I don't think you know what my favorite thing to do back in the day when I used to go to the bar? I used to love it when there would be that little desperate weirdo guy who would be buying drinks for a chick, and I could get her to get him to buy me a drink. I was sick like that, but that's, to me, that was so much fun. Because, if the guy is that stupid, if the guy thinks that he can buy a bunch of drinks and then somehow you owe him something, some shit like that, that's because he's a fucking idiot. And fuck yeah, take advantage of that dumbass. Just know you're putting yourself in a weird position. Well, you should absolutely. If somebody is like the other day, I had to give my friend, my neighbor, a ride, 10 minutes away or so, whatever. And when he got in the car, he was like, hey man, let me give you some gas money. And I was like, no, don't worry about it. And he's like, no, man, let me give you, it's all good. I said, no, if I ever need, something or whatever, then I'll come to you. And he was like, no, man, here, let me give you some money. And I said, all right, cool. I'm not going to tell you no more than twice. This is why I have a hard time not being a fucking Jesus pusher. Just because I could make a really great living selling people what they want to be sold, even though it's bullshit. Huh? How am I going to do anything? Anyway. I hate when chicks act like, I've never used my looks to get anything in my life ever. Bullshit. Everybody has taken advantage of situations in their life, and there's nothing fucking wrong with it. I just can't stand the delusion. Again, rich kids who act like, oh, my parents didn't do any, I did this all myself. My friend Fatty's like that. He acts like he did everything. He got it. Dude, you know how many times your rich parents bailed you out of fucking jail and then paid for the lawyer to make sure you didn't have the thing on your record that held you back? They paid for you to go to college. Yeah, you might have done the college, but they paid for it. They paid for your car. They paid for your food. They gave you the credit card. He knew when it came time to return the favor, he wouldn't want to. No, that's not it. He just doesn't want to. He doesn't want to be in somebody's pocket. And I don't blame him for that. And he doesn't have to. He makes good money. So he was like, yeah, if you ever need something, come get it. But I'm not, I'm not gonna get a ride from someone and not pay for it. That was his thing. And I know that was his thing. So after saying no twice, I'm not gonna keep saying no. Then I'm insulting him. Then I'm being an asshole. Say no twice. After twice, you're being a dick. Anyway, I am 47 years old. It's fucking crazy.
Happy birthday. Holy shit. It is after midnight.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, baby.
Mm-hmm.
My old man. I
Yes,
love
ma'am.
you.
I love you too.
So now when we round up.
Right? Because we don't deal in pennies anymore. I'm 50. It is what it is. Thank you. Appreciate it. Hey, for my birthday, because I'm such a selfish prick, go get your free download from www.the-bilderberg, BILDERBERG When you click download, it'll ask you how much you want to pay. You click 0 and it's free. That's my birthday present to you. You want to throw some money in there, feel free. But all I'd ask you to do is go get the free download and please share it with someone. As my birthday present, please share it with one other person. Or go to Facebook and share our newest song, Dads Against Predators. It's a good one.
Yep.
I like it.
Why
I
is
need
this
to
like
read
this?
them. What is it?
Amazon.
I don't shop Amazon,
Why is
so I have
this
no
so
idea.
tiny?
I don't know anything about it. Anyway, have yourselves a great night. Merry Christmas, and more than likely I'll see you tomorrow. But who knows? I might not. We got the morning stuff and all that
Needs
stuff.
day.
Yeah. But you have yourself a great night. Be safe. Merry Christmas, and you know what would be the best Christmas present? I mean, obviously, go check out the links and shit in the description. But the best Christmas present you could give me in the world is that you pedophiles kill yourself.